Hello and welcome to the trade setup. In this video, we are looking at Encore Energy. It is time for another update, and it's another one of these energy sector opportunities I have been mentioning in the last few days. I might continue with this trend for a little while because the energy sector right now is probably one of the more interesting for me. I would generally expect it to be substantially fueled by the energy demand AI has been creating and is continuing to create. We have already seen some of these surge significantly, and even more of them are building their setups, are building such patterns that are providing confirmations that we would see a substantial increase, where even if it doesn't manage to play out within the most bullish patterns, we could still be looking at a 2 to 3x for most of them. But if the potential actually unfolds, we could be looking for 10, 20x, maybe even more than that. And it is hard to say at the moment. We have some confirmations, but most of them haven't followed through. We have Bloom Energy that is already up, and we are looking to position ourselves for what could be a substantial opportunity that most people are just going to ignore. Most people are just going to watch the AI stocks attempt to go higher and higher, even though their structure isn't suggesting this to be the case. And of course, there is never a guarantee that any of these setups will work out, but these also provide unbelievable risk-reward ratios. Now, to provide the context for this chart, we have a few options. I'm not too set on the larger time frame, but for a general idea, I could track this either as a series of 1-2 setups, where right now we would be looking for a wave 3 to be taking place, or possibly this could be just a larger wave 4. Quite substantial, not necessarily ideal in terms of a match, could be even something else. But the positive aspect is that we do not really care about the larger time frame because we have identified an opportunity within a smaller time frame, and if that fails, we can just drop this. There are other players even within the energy sector that have confirmations in place and that are building even further confirmations that are further along the structure we are tracking. And it's interesting, within other sectors, we usually see the stocks follow along at a more similar pace. In the energy sector, I'm looking at 3 different timeframes for the stocks in this sector, and these opportunities actually have formed confirmations within 2 or maybe only 1 of them. So today we will focus on this idea of, let's say, a series of 1-2 setups. Again, the larger structure, not so important. What I'm rather interested in is the internal structure here from the 2025 lows in April, where we have already formed a pretty substantial rally, right? From $1 we have pushed to over $4. This is 300% gain. From these lows, we also have what could be considered an initial 5V move to the upside, a structure that I can track now as a wave 1. Do I need to consider this to be the wave 1 top? Actually no, but I probably prefer this interpretation, so let's leave it at that. In terms of support, we have this white area between $2.4 down to $1.4, where we know that if we get a sustained break below the 78.6% retracement, most likely this setup would fail. So we do not need to assume all that much risk while capturing quite strong potential, because let's say we have already bottomed within this wave 2, and we will discuss the internal structure in a moment, but let's say we have bottomed within the wave 2. The ideal target for a wave 3 would be the 138.2% extension of the wave 1. That sits at $11.7. From the current levels, $1.8, we are looking at a 5x. This would be an expected wave 3. This wouldn't need to stop there. This would expect a wave 4 and continuation to even higher prices within a wave 5. So the potential is there. Sure, this is probably one of the stocks that is moving a lot more slowly, but I wouldn't dismiss this opportunity because of that. Now, let's take a different point of view. Let's say the build out of the wave 3 will fail. Let's say we only manage to form a 5V move to the upside within a wave C, which has the ideal target at $6.8. Well, from the current levels, I would be looking for that to have achieved a 2.7x in returns. And all of this, even from the current levels, would entail a risk of, let's say, maybe 30%. Let's say you have a decent amount of room for a stop loss below the area of support in case we get a wick below it. So we are looking at a 1 to 9 risk reward ratio in the case of a wave C. Now sure, it might not even get to the 100% extension. We might only get lower, but still it's extremely favorable. In the case of a wave 3, well, that's already a lot more. And here's the great part. I'm not even convinced we have already bottomed within this wave 2, but the correction itself does seem promising. If I am able to capture some value at even lower prices, let's say at $1.4, let's say we almost push into the 78.6% retracement, or maybe we even push in there, but we buy a bit higher. We would be looking to risk perhaps only like 10%, while the potential, well, let's say we bottom at the 78.6% retracement, $9.6 from $1.4, that is more than a 5x return. It's a 1 to 58 risk reward ratio. Let's do the 100% extension. It's a 1 to 31 risk reward ratio. This is the type of opportunities we are dealing with here. Again, some of these structures might actually fail. Some of these players might not run at all, but getting exposure in such opportunities provides you extremely low risk, allows you to enter with a very small amount of capital while still allowing you to capture a lot of value. It allows you to look for strong diversification. So even if only one out of all of these setups actually works, you could still be making quite a substantial amount of money. Now, this is not an endorsement to buy into this stock or any of these energy sector stocks. I'm just presenting the trade setup point of view in such a structure. So let's talk a bit about the internal developments in this area. I'm looking at a potential A, B, C structure to be taking place, where I'm quite happy with the current developments, but I wouldn't consider that a bottom would be in just yet. I'm not saying it's impossible, but there is no confirmation for me. Sure, I could track what has formed here as a series of 1-2 setups. They look awful, to be honest. And maybe it's just an ABC pattern. Doesn't matter exactly. Technically, it could push higher, but it's not going to provide us any high probability. And this as a wave C looks rather incomplete. So I am tracking this chart to develop one more low, as it has pushed within this as a wave 4 into the last level of resistance, nearly, and I would like to see an extension within a wave 5. Now, this might take a few weeks, maybe a month, I couldn't tell you, but as we push and extend to lower prices within this wave 5, we are getting closer and closer to this last level of support. From this point of view, this stock has probably one of the more interesting opportunities, because not within all of them have we actually pushed so deep within the support zones. Now, I wouldn't discard the opportunity on the others because of that, but I do find this one quite interesting. Now, in terms of the internal structure, I wouldn't go too much into it. I am tracking an overall impulse within this as a wave C, so I would expect to build a 5-wave move to the downside within the wave 5. But based on what has developed internally within this, let's say wave 1, I could see it as a wave 1, I would find it rather likely that we are going to be building an ending diagonal within this wave 5. So if I go here into the even smaller time frame, I'm identifying within this initial push to the downside, this wave 1, an A, B, C structure, right? Looks actually perfect, I would have to say. I would have here a wave 2 correction, and then the wave 3 would be expected to as well build an A, B, C structure. It is still too early to tell, the wave 3 seems to have just started, but the ideal target for such a structure would be the 138.2% extension of the wave 1. That sits at $1.57 and would already become quite interesting. Now, as I always say, don't trade the count, trade the levels. We would be quite deep within the support zone, the levels would be quite promising, and we would have an additional low. It does happen at times that we don't actually get the last wave 5 to the downside, so we might be doing what seems like a wave 4 correction and push directly higher. I cannot rule that out as a possibility. if we are to zoom out, let's say we actually get into this wave 3 target area, we would be extremely deep within support. And beyond that, I'm not giving financial advice, so what you decide to do there is up to you. This is the roadmap that I'm tracking for this chart. I see a great opportunity on this chart, in this sector, and I'm still waiting for more data as everyone else. Because I do not know if it will succeed, but I do know that I am interested in it. And one more thing before we end the video, I would still be focusing on continuation to lower prices unless we manage to break here the 50% retracement, $2.2. And for now, these are the levels, this is the trade setup. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed the content and want to support it directly, check out the channel membership. And other than that, let me know what else you'd like me to cover, and I'll do my best to do that in the days and weeks ahead. And until then, I wish you a nice day, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.